Hi, welcome back to this session of Paint This with Jerry Yarnell right here at the Yarnell School of Fine Art, and we are going to have a really spectacular time in this particular painting. It's actually a painting I've been wanting to do for many years, and in fact, as we look through the different cards and emails and that we get from you all, we always study these subjects. Of course, we want to appeal to the masses. I know all of you want me to do certain things, but unfortunately, we can only do so much in 30 minutes, and so I'm only one artist, so we're doing the best we can to get them all in here. But this one I think you're all going to enjoy. And I'm now over in Yellowstone National Park again, one of my favorite places to go. And many of you have been there. But I've never done a painting of Old Faithful doing its thing, where, spurting out its steam and gases and everything. And I've got some photographs I took on one of my trips, and we've had a lot of you request this. It's also got one of the photos I've got. It's not my photo. It's out of a magazine, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. I like to use my own reference material whenever possible to keep away from copying and violate anybody, copyright law. So you want to be a little careful about that. But anyway, we're going to get started here. Now, this is an acrylic painting. We're using our standard acrylic palette. Many of you are kind of new to the program, and I want to apologize a little bit because we've been on since 1987 doing these kind of shows, and there are a lot of new people every week that are watching and doing this. And I want to remind you that these techniques, although they're mostly in acrylic, can apply to oil painters too. So those of you that are oil painters, all the technical advice that I'm giving you guys, even for watercolor, is the same. You may be using different paints, different brushes and different things like that, and a few different techniques. But all the technical advice works in almost any medium. So anyway, we're working now on an 18 by 24 stretched canvas. It's in vertical format. I've graded, and the mixture that I use, and a lot of you ask about that, I like to grade my canvas. The reason is because white is not a good color, if you want to call that a color, for artists to see color. You need something that mutes and kind of, your eye doesn't react to white. It reacts to color on a muted surface. That's why some of you make fun of my dirty palette. Well, I got a clean one today. That's kind of unusual. But a dirty palette is the best way to see color, because color against color, you can identify things easier. You see it more natural. So anyway, that's kind of the story. It kills the white, and this neutral tone helps you see color. Let's get to the painting. It's going to be exciting. Now, these are some photographs I took, and I want to take this kind of slow because this is Old Faithful. Many of you have been there, and let me see if I can find the right. Yeah, here's the one. I took him in sort of in a succession of events. Now, you can walk around this thing, and you can get only so close, but you can take it from different places around the area. But this is when it first starts, just very tiny. Of course, this is the big slab formation, all this calcified rocks and all kinds of stuff there. I don't know the scientific stuff going on. And there's phase one. It's just starting. There it's a little bit taller, and you can see the steam and all of the stuff that's coming out of there, the different gases, all based on where the wind blows is how you get the look you want. And that's what I want to work with. It's kind of like doing clouds on a windy day. Then there it goes. Now it slips over here. Here it is, a little taller. Then here it is, it's a little taller. And it just keeps going up until it gets taller and taller and taller. See, here it is. And see, when it goes up, it's kind of got this little jutted look effect. Kind of like when you're starting a garden hose, you just turn the water on, and it just kind of sputters, and then finally all the water comes out. Well, that's kind of what this is. And you see this little stream coming up, and then all the steam and the gases kind of turn into clouds. And we're going to have a lot of fun with this. Now, those are the photos I took. Now, let me just say this to you. Anytime you're using reference material out of a magazine, out of a book, or some other artist's work, if you're copying it, be sure you get permission. Okay, don't just do it. That's really not a good thing. However, you can use concepts and ideas. I don't know where this came from. Someone sent these to me, but this is a photo out of a magazine or a book. I'm not going to copy it. But it's a main domain. It's part of the public thing. But I want you to see how it goes on up there, and then there's a little rainbow here. And I've had a lot of you ask about rainbows. We may try to do that if we can. Here's another. I'm just showing you different looks of it. See, here it is again coming up, and see it's got a different look. And then here it is again in the late evening. The wind blowing it. See, isn't that cool? It's a different color scheme. Here it is on the front of some kind of a brochure, and you can see it's got this nice little effect there. And then here it is from a little bit of an aerial view, looking way up from the top of the mountain. It's got sort of that mushroom effect, so it can have a lot of different effects. But remember one thing, we are artists. And artists like to make things very unique.